Welcome to the Fit Podcast, Freedom in Truth, where truth is taught and freedom is lived. The attitudes of the kingdom, instructions for kingdom living. This is part eight. Part eight. We're moving along pretty well along with Jesus, and this is Matthew chapter 9. We're still in Matthew chapter 9, and we're closing out the ninth chapter. And the next time you see us after this, we'll be in Matthew chapter 10 for those who are following along with us. So don't forget to like and share our page and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We appreciate you for doing that and continue to share our page with your friends. All right, who do I have with me? We have Jared, my brother Jared here, and he's here. Is coming down to the wire, my brother, and we thank you for being here and appreciate my brother, that you're here with us, and we're grateful for you, man. And thank you for the new as you open a new chapter in your life and doing some bigger, greater things in the kingdom of God by the way of law and stuff like that. So now you get to spread the gospel in the law, in the world of law, and so that's powerful. So thank you so much for that. And my brother Dwayne, thank you so much, as usual, my brother, for coming and being a part of this team and working with us and helping us spread the gospel throughout the world. For that. Okay. Well, like I said, we're here. We're in Matthew chapter 8, chapter 9, finishing up Matthew chapter 9. And we're studying this two segments we have. The first one we have is a mute man speaks. This is Jesus dealing with the healing process, healing people. But this is one of them healing that you're gonna see that there was some undertone things that was causing there was some serious spiritual problem that's causing the mute problem. So we're thankful that we get to learn about that and get to that. And then we get to talk about the compassion of Jesus Christ, how he expressed compassion for people. He throughout his tenure here on earth, um, you see a lot of his compassion on people. How he cried, you know, because of his compassion for people. So we get to see that, and we get to see that in our lives. The effects of Jesus' compassion in our lives today, right? So we're gonna go ahead and do that. My brother Jared, what I'm gonna go ahead and do is read the first segment, like we talked about, and then you'll read later on. Actually, later you'll read the second segment when we get ready to talk about that. Right? That sounds
Okay,
good.
sounds good.
Okay. Yes, sir. So I'm going to read Matthew chapter 9, verse 32 to 34. It says, as they went out, behold, they brought him a man mute and demon possessed. And when the demon was cast out, the mute man spoke. And the multitude marveled, saying, it was never seen like this in Israel. But the Pharisees said, he cast out demons by the ruler of demons. There we go again. There we go. There we go, them Pharisees, the critics.
They're back.
They're back criticizing they something that's good, something that's making a difference in society, and then you got somebody criticizing it, whatever's going on in society. So what comes to your mind, my brother Jared? Tell us some of your thoughts on this situation.
Well, I go straight to the criticism that you mentioned, and
Mm-hmm.
I think it's easier to criticize when
Mm.
someone does something bad,
Mm.
but oftentimes, and we've all seen this in the world, people
Yeah.
will criticize when you're doing things good.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
here you have this man who's mute,
Yeah.
demons possessed in him,
Mm.
and
Mm.
Jesus
Mm.
casts the demons out,
Mm.
makes the mute man speak.
Wow.
We haven't seen things like this before in
Mm.
all of Israel. And you still have people that are hating on this
Mm.
or
Mm.
saying
Mm.
he's not
Mm.
who he says he is.
Right.
He's demons are helping him do this.
Wow.
And I mean, it happens to us today. Even when you're doing good, there's always someone
Mm.
that wants to bring you down. And so if it happened
Right.
to Jesus, it's going to happen to us. But just keep going once it happens.
That's true. That's true. That's true. What do you think, my brother Dwayne?
Reading this is what kind of shocked me, kind of threw me, was the fact that they say he was demon possessed and he was mute,
Mm-hmm.
and it made me think about when you can call on the name of Jesus,
Yeah.
he can heal all things. So that was
Yeah.
part of the thing. What the demon wanted to do was to keep him mute, so he couldn't call upon Jesus.
Wow.
So
he couldn't call out.
He couldn't call out. So I think a lot of times, that's what the demon will try to do, try to keep you quiet because you can't claim claim the name of Jesus. So that was one thing that stuck out to me.
Wow.
How he was afflicted.
Yeah. He says they brought, like, I see what you're saying. Said they brought a mute man. So somebody had to bring him, and then they had to speak for him. Somebody had to speak for him. You know what I'm saying? And when I look at this, I think about how demons they create havoc in people's lives. And you can see in the world today the havoc that's going on because of demons. You see how people, and they use the word they use on television is they blame it all on mental issues.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So everything is a mental problem.
Right.
It's a mental problem. However, there are some issues, legitimate issues, that's associated with mental problems.
Definitely.
Chemical imbalances and stuff like that. But however, everything that's going on is not associated with mental problems.
Right.
It is directly related to demons. And in the world, demon can possess people if you don't have a relationship. If you don't have the Holy Spirit, a demon could take over your body. And that's what we see what's going on. And you see what's going on in the world today, demons. So obviously you see a demon took over this man's body and decide that he's not going to speak. They made that decision for him. Because a demon, it's a demon because the demon took his willpower away.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? God doesn't take our willpower away. Right. He let us choose. He let us choose to follow him, or we can choose not to follow him. Like Joshua said, choose ye this day which God you'll serve. But as for me and my house, we choose God. You know what I'm saying? We're going to serve the Lord. So obviously it's just a choice, but this demon, he didn't even have a choice. And we know he didn't even have a choice to speak. So somebody else had to speak on his behalf, to get Jesus to interfere and intervene with this situation. It says the reason why, because I'm telling you, man, we don't talk about it enough about the damaging effects demons are causing, in the world. But what make it worse is when demons get in the church and start causing these destruction. So that means there's some things in the church that allow demons to hold on to. You know what I'm saying? If demons ain't got nothing to hold on to, because if the word is there, demons are very uncomfortable. It's hard for them to stick around and try to cause any problem. You see, when Jesus came in this picture, the demons, they had to leave. Right. He said, what the first thing Jesus did? Jesus didn't, it says, and when the demon was cast out. So what Jesus did? Cast out the demon.
Yep.
He didn't touch his mouth. He didn't say, okay, you would speak and all that stuff. He didn't do all that. He didn't do that. He went straight for the spiritual. There was a spiritual problem, because you notice Jesus has a great way of addressing the spiritual issue, even though the majority of the people in the room or in the multitude, they saw a physical problem, but Jesus saw a spiritual problem. And if I fix the spiritual problem, the physical is gonna it's gonna solve. Because this man, if he didn't get rid of the demons, even if Jesus had healed him, allow him to talk again, he probably was going to go mute again because the problem is still there. You remember those symptoms we talking
Right,
about? You
yep.
still have the problem.
Right.
Or if he healed the mute, then he probably go blind or he'd be deaf. You know what I'm saying? But Jesus said, look, once I heal you, you're going to be healed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This is going to solve your problem because your problem is not that you can't speak. It's that you're filled with demons. You know what I'm saying? And that's what helped him in that situation. So what do y'all think about that before we go to the next one? But that demon, those demons and stuff. What do you think there?
I agree with what you've been saying as far as, and we've talked about this in the previous episode,
Mm-hmm.
addressing those root causes.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, this demon was the problem within the man. Yes, he was mute,
Yeah.
but that demon was a bigger problem. And so I think when you talk to God, a lot of times we talk to him about addressing certain symptoms. Maybe you want to pay something, or we want something, this and this.
Right.
But God wants us to, not necessarily wants us to, but we should try to address these inner problems that are leading towards some of the things that we may be going through.
Yeah.
But I really enjoy how Jesus showed his power here.
Mm-hmm.
I think you see like Jesus says a lot of things, but he also backs them up
That's
with
right.
actions too. And I can definitely respect that.
That's right.
And gain encouragement from it.
Oh, that's good. What do you say, my brother?
What I got out of it too also is that other people had to bring him to help him. So that's what we need as Christians, to help each other. Because sometimes we at a point where we can't even say anything, you know what I mean? So you might need somebody to pray you through or bring you through to where you need to be at.
There you go.
That way, because otherwise you might be locked up with that demon, with that guilt, that sin, and the demon have you thinking like you can't go or you can't do this, like. I had people say, "Oh, you can't go to church like that." Why can't I?
Why?
You know what I mean?
Why not?
So
Right.
that's the one thing I got out of is that sometimes you need help with somebody else. You need prayer for somebody else. You need somebody else to kind of lead you
That's
there.
right.
That's kind of like what our job is as Christians, lead other people there.
That's right. Because in some areas we could tread on. Some areas we can, we can knock some walls down because of the power that we have, with the Holy Spirit. We can knock some walls down. You know what I'm saying? We can do some things. And like you said, those people who are weak because they're so trapped with demons and stuff like that. They can't. They need it. They need our help.
They do.
And like Brother Jared, before you close, I like how you talk about those naysayers and stuff, and those excuse makers, those criticizers, and they talk about they want to give something else or someone else the credit.
Right.
For God. You know what I'm saying? Even in the world, when God do something that's incredible, they don't give God the credit. They give the science. Oh well, the science, like we went through the COVID thing for a while, and now we're not going through that anymore. But who get that credit? The scientists and the government.
Mm-hmm.
But we know who did it. Because the scientists and the government couldn't do it all by themselves. They weren't smart enough to do it like that. But God did it. But they're not going to give him the credit, and that's the problem. But we just make sure that we continue to give credit where credit is due. You know what I'm saying? So we're not even the world going to give. They're not going to credit God for it. So let's go to the other one, my brother Jared, and let's talk about another side of Jesus.
Verse 35. Then Jesus went about all the cities and villages, teaching in their synagogues, preaching the gospel of the kingdom, and healing every sickness and every disease among the people.
Yeah.
But when he saw the multitudes, he was moved with compassion for them, because they were weary and scattered, like sheep having no shepherd. Then he said to his disciples, the harvest truly is plentiful, the laborers are few. Therefore, pray the Lord of the harvest to send out laborers into his harvest.
Wow. This one is a little bit more somber. You know what I'm saying? It's, when you have compassion on somebody, it's a little bit more somber, you know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. So my brother, Dwayne, what when you think of compassion, now we have a compassion of Jesus Christ. How does compassion impact you? And how do you believe it impacts other people?
I think just like you said, like having that compassion for other people, like it might make you something because look at them and look what they're going through. But at the end of the day, like you said, pray for those. You know what I mean? Because you need the workers.
Yeah.
So therefore, because like I said, the harvest is plenty, but it's few workers. Yeah. So and like I said, Jesus, like he saw what was happening saying? That's why he was training them up, you know what I'm saying? Because he knew that he got it all in control, but he has something for all of us to do in our lives. So we all have a mission. We're not just born just to be born. We're here for a reason, for a purpose, and that's God's work.
Very good. Very good. Awesome. Awesome. What do you think, my brother Jared? What's some of the stuff, the striking stuff for you in this?
Well, what was mentioned about compassion is something that I totally agree with. I think that oftentimes compassion is missed, or we'll go through something or have things that we're dealing with, or problems that areas we struggle with.
Yeah.
And then we get through those things and we forget what it was like when we were those things, and we see someone else and we not necessarily think we're better than them, but we don't act with that same sense of compassion that we would want someone to act towards us, that Jesus showed us when we were going through a certain situation or struggling with something. And so I believe compassion is super important.
Yeah.
And I think throughout this chapter, we've seen people show compassion for other people.
Yeah.
And we've seen the results that have happened, healings, deliverance, things of that nature. So I encourage everyone, myself as well. Here the Lord talks about, Jesus talks about how we don't have enough workers, enough laborers.
Right.
Try to be that laborer.
Right.
Whatever form that may take, whether it's on your job, in the parking lot at a Walmart, wherever, just trying to be someone to, help bring people to Christ.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. I think about it says in verse 35, it says, then Jesus went to look at that word, all the cities and villages. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
All. That means what every city and village, every little town was in that area Jesus went to. He said all. Teaching in their synagogue, preaching the gospel of the kingdom and the healing of every sickness, every disease, no matter what it is, AIDS, cancer, whatever, it didn't matter. No matter what it is, diabetes, right? All these disease was in the all. He said he can do all that, right? And among the people, whatever they were facing, he healed. But I want to go back a little bit. I want to talk about the kingdom, and I want to talk about synagogue. Synagogue, or if you understand what synagogue is basically it's like a news station, right? Like say WRL or WTVD, the news station. Basically, what that is that the main station is in Jerusalem. The main informational station is in Jerusalem, which is the temple. Because there was only one temple in Jerusalem. And then, but the synagogue gets the information from the temple, and the people go to the synagogue to get that information from the synagogue, because that's the information that came down from the temple. You see what I'm saying? We today, we don't need the synagogue or the temple to get that information. We are the temple. So the information comes directly to us, Jared. Exactly. So we are the temple, but the information comes directly to us. So we don't need to go to another channel. You know what I'm saying? We come to church, but we don't come to church because we ain't got no information. We come to church to enhance each other, to get better. And what we know, to get clarity on some of the things that we know, but we don't quite understand. Correct. You know what I'm saying? So that's why synagogues exist back then. But once Jesus, the Bible says we are the temple. You know what I'm saying? There is no temple, to replace it and stuff like that. So I want to talk about that. And then another thing I want to talk about is the kingdom. He said he was teaching in their synagogues and he was preaching the gospel of the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? He was very specific. Jesus was very specific on what he was talking about. It tells us, it explains to us his purpose, why he came. You see what I'm saying? Why he came. He came to teach the people and preach about the gospel, the kingdom, tell people about the kingdom. Now, what I learned when I studied this, what I learned and understand, if you learn the things that you learn about the kingdom is you learn that everything and anything that you need is in the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? It's in the kingdom. So the kingdom has healing. If you need healing, it's in the kingdom. The kingdom has finances. If you need finances, the finances is in the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? Right. You need better. You need more education. Not better education, but increase your education and your increase your learning. It's in the kingdom. So the kingdom supports you and say, okay, Jared, go ahead, go to Philadelphia and do your thing and come back or whatever, or go over here or whatever. It's all supplied for you. So this is what Jesus. This is the message that Jesus is bringing forth to the people. That's different from what they knew before, because all the forerunners, the Isaiahs and the Jeremiahs and the Davids, and, the Hoseas, all that stuff, they only talk about this stuff coming. But now Jesus is here, and everything and anything that you need is here for you. So you know what I'm saying? So Jesus was very specific on what he was telling them. In light of that, what come to you guys' mind? What come to your mind?
What I got, like I said, what comes to my mind is that no problem is bigger than God. And so no matter what type of, like you said, healing, financial, whatever it is, it's all in the kingdom. Yeah. So therefore, you don't have to worry about it because you know it's already taken care of. That's a good feeling to know that our Father has us taken care of, and his son, like I said, was on our behalf. So he spoke on our behalf and spoke up for us. So I'm glad for that.
Yeah. So what comes to mind for you, my brother?
Well, it's important to, as you mentioned, the synagogue, to be in a place where you are receiving that sound teaching. Yeah. And many people, we have great technology. We have, Facebooks, all these lives can go on, but there's nothing beats being in person and seeing, a pastor or anyone give you sound teaching. And so that's something that I take away from this. Yeah. You want to be in a place where that you can receive that teaching.
Yeah. Because people who make themselves available, like the people who are in the synagogues, who went to the synagogue, they got some new information that they weren't getting. Right. You know what I'm saying? Their information that we're getting was just limited to the temple in Jerusalem. You know what I'm saying? And then that information, by the time it get from Jerusalem to wherever, to their little town, it could be distorted. Some stuff could have been left out. You know, it could be forgotten. Some things could have changed along the way, which they have, and we've seen. As we study the Bible, more we study the Bible, more we see how things got distorted, and then Jesus had to refute and combat a lot of those things that got distorted and stuff like that. But like you said, but those people got new information, and then when we get together, since we're the temple, God downloads stuff to us through the Word and stuff like that thing. And then I might be going through something that I run into Brother Jared, and he has some information for me. Correct. I don't have to wait till I go to the synagogue to get it. You know what I'm saying? Right. I don't gotta wait till it comes, because Jared already been downloaded to Jared through the Holy Spirit, and Jared can start talking to me and enlighten me, or I talk to you and enlighten me about my situation. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's like, I mean, I know all the information, but you have the information. You have the information, and that's how Jesus. That's what Jesus is. Jesus is now taking them from having to depend on the synagogue, but now you can depend on me. You know what I'm saying? And that's why these people are, he's just blowing people's minds. Whoa, who is this guy? You know what I'm saying? Where is he from? You know what I'm saying? And then, and like we talked about how Jesus recognized these people who came to hear him speak, or who came to the synagogue. Maybe they didn't even come to hear him speak. They just came to the synagogue to get any kind of information. Some of these people probably came. They probably did come to the synagogue probably the day before, the week before, to probably look to get a healing, and they walk away still in that same situation. You know what I'm saying? Still in that same situation, still sick. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of these people were coming for a long time. They're still sick. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, the information that was coming out of Jerusalem down to these little towns and stuff like that, it wasn't strong enough to get them out of their situation. And that's some of the things, we go in the wrong places. Right. We go to the wrong places or the wrong source to get a help. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I love my doctor. My doctor is a great doctor. But if I had only depended on my doctor to get rid of the pains that we talked about earlier, my foot and then my back and all that stuff, then I would still have my pain. or I'd have to take more medication to combat the pain that I was going through. But I decided to go somewhere else with my information, which was to God. Took my concerns and problems to God, and He gave me the answers to it. You see what I'm saying? So it all depends on where you going in for your source and stuff like that. So before we close, I want us to talk about a little bit about um, a little bit more about the compassion. I want to talk about a little bit more on what you think, what was going through Jesus' mind when he saw these people. I want us to get in Jesus' head a little bit. What was going on in his mind when he saw these people? Because it says he had compassion on them. What you think caused him to move to this direction? Because I mean, he went to a lot of cities. He had to been tired, because he got tired. You know what I'm saying? So, and he said he went to all. They used the word all a couple of times a year. He went to all, all and every. That means it was nothing left out. You know what I'm saying? So this chapter, if he had covered every city that he went to in this chapter, it would take us probably a week just to. Just to finish it. You know what I'm saying? It would take us a long time. We'll still be sitting here for a whole week straight just trying to get through all the information. You know what I'm saying? But what do you think?
Well, the Bible talks about how the people were weary and scattered. And so, from Jesus' perspective, I can see it where he sees the people.
Yeah.
And he sees not only they're tired or weary or dealing with these ailments and illnesses, they have no direction with where they're trying to go. And so it's a lose-lose situation. Not only they're tired, if someone was tired, but they were going to the right direction, or they're making their way out of a forest or something like that.
Yeah,
you could say, okay, at least they're tired, but they're going in the right direction. But here, Jesus sees the people; they're tired.
Yeah,
and in the direction that they're going, they're all scattered, not going in the right direction.
Yeah,
and I think Jesus, knowing the power that he has,
Ooh,
knowing what he's
know
trying
what
to,
he has.
knowing what he's trying to change
Yeah,
in regards to how people view God during this time.
Yeah,
I think that's what led him to have compassion, because he knows what he has.
Yeah,
and he knows that the people need to have it.
Wow.
But there's just so many people.
Yeah,
And he obviously he can get to them, but he knew he was going to be here forever.
Wow.
And he knew that there would be similar people, throughout history like this.
Yeah.
And I think that's what why he goes into the laborers and having laborers.
That's awesome. What do you think, my brother?
I think what stood out to me was just how much Jesus loved us, the compassion he showed us. Like you said, everything.
Yeah.
All these illnesses and ailments that people had, he took care of
all of
Not
them.
only he came,
Every
he
disease.
teached and he preached and he taught about the kingdom and went to the sick, but he healed all these things. And so just how much he loved us, how much compassion he had for us.
Yeah.
That really stuck out to me. And like I said, like Brother Jerry said, he's only gonna be here for a certain amount of time. Then he had to go back to his father.
Yeah.
So therefore, he took care of what he needed to take care of while he was here. He took care of business. He took care of kingdom business.
Yeah.
And that's one thing, like I said, that you need to make sure you take care of kingdom business, just like Jesus did.
Yeah. Yeah. Take care of kingdom business. Well, family, you have heard everything that we talked about. We're here and we're having a great discussion. We went through the Matthew chapter 9, and we talked about, for the last 8 weeks, we talked about this journey that Jesus went on. And we hope and pray that you receive something from this, that you receive what God is telling you. And a lot of information, like, Jesus told the two blind men, right? He told the two blind guys, he says, don't tell nobody about this. He said, he sternly warned them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And we're not sternly warning you not to. We're compelling you to. So please share and like the page. Share as many people. Like, be like the two blind men. When they got their eyesight, they went out and they tell everybody about what Jesus has done. So tell the whole world about us. Let them know that we're here to stay. And before we officially close, I just want to enlighten you guys on something before we officially close out. usually we normally um, we record our information and then we put it out there for you. So by the time this is aired, my brother Jared, he won't even be here with us. He'll be gone. He'll be in school. So Jared, we thank you for coming, man. I appreciate it. And my wife has something for you. She's gonna come on, and she's gonna. You can have a seat, sweetheart. We got a seat here for you, and she's gonna present something for you on camera. Because we met you on camera. Everybody out there met you. So we're gonna go. So we're gonna take it over. Go ahead, baby. Take it over.
Well, Jared, the Fit Podcast has appreciate you being faithfully working service with the team. And so we just want to say thank you for hanging out with us monthly, weekly when we kind of first started. Just to share the gospel of Jesus Christ throughout the world to help spread it. So we just want to say thank you, give you a little something.
Thank you.
And we're happy for you for what the next step in your life will be, for what God is doing for you. So this is just something from the Fit Podcast team.
That's right.
To say thank you for your service. With us.
Okay. So you got any final words you want to say, my brother, to send our brother off?
Wish you well, and I know you'll be back.
Yeah.
And thank you for the insight you shared with me in this time I've been here.
That's right. That's right.
Well, I appreciate this. I was so surprised. I had no idea this was going on. And before we started, we were setting up another chair.
Yeah.
I was like, well, we set up another chair. And he said, oh, well, my wife's going to come in later. And he's ending the podcast. And like, she's not here yet. So I was really surprised. But I really enjoyed doing this and being here with y'all. And,
we did the same with you.
It's amazing. So thank you for having me.
Wow.
It's been great.
And like I said, people, friends and family, you're out there. I know you guys get to see this later. He'll be in school by the time you get to watch this. He'll be in school for a couple of weeks. But we just wanted to do on camera because a lot of the work he's done has been on camera, and he's done some great work as well behind the scene. On the scene, he works in our church. He does a tremendous amount of work tremendously. So we love him and his family, and the church family, they love you. Our pastor and first lady, they love you. We thank you, man, for your great work, and we appreciate you. All right.
Thank you.
So I'm glad you didn't cry on camera. So thank y'all so much for sticking and staying with us. This has been the Fit Podcast, Freedom and Truth, where truth is taught and where our freedom is lived. So I'll see you on the next podcast.